What is the subject name? Subject name ಏನು? ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ್ದು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಹಾಂ, ಯಾವುದು ತಂದಿಲ್ಲ? ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಹೊಸ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ತಂದಿದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. 5th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಿದ್ದು ಏನಾದರೂ ನೆನಪಿದೆ? ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ಹಾಂ, ಅದು ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸಾಯಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಗಿಬೋದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೂ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್? ಹಾಂ, ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬೇರೆ? ಹಾಂ, ಬೇರೆ? ಏನು ಚೇಂಜಾ? ಫುಡ್ ವೆಬ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಂ, ಬೇರೆ? ಹಾಂ, ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್. ಹಾಂ, ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬೇರೆ? ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಹಾಂ, ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್. ದೆನ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಓಝೋನ್ ಲೇಯರ್. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, so we'll not going to discuss here. Next, some of the international conventions which is related to environment, right? Then what else? What is the subject name? Only environment? Environment science. Any other answers? Subject name? EVS. What is that EVS full form? Environment studies. Okay. Then any other? The subject name is environment and ecology. Okay, environment and ecology. Environment and ecology. What is the best source for this? Best book in the market to study environment and ecology? And who is the best lecturer for this in India? What is the best source for UPSC? There are 2 books, okay? Any one book is enough. Either environment, first one, environment by Shankar IAS. Shankar IAS is a Tamil Nadu based, Madras, Chennai based coaching institution. It also has its base in Bangalore, Delhi, but main branch Chennai. Okay. You know this, in South India, one opt for IFS, they have to write their mains in Chennai. That is not there in Bangalore. Prelims in Bangalore, prelims same prelims for UPSC, civil services and IFS. one who score high rank in the UPSC prelims, they'll select it for IFS mains, okay, Indian Forest Service mains, okay. So the mains will be conducted at Chennai, not in Bangalore. So for Forest Service, Chennai is the base in South India, and this is Madras based institution, and they release their own book to the market called Shankar IAS book. Shankar IAS book is very famous for environment. The next, second one, Environment and Ecology by Neeraj Nachiket Sir, my environment guru, my lecturer. His book. This is the India's two trusted book for environment. If you have this, means not needed this one, because the short notes are the environment. This is wonderful book, and if you want short notes, means this is enough. Shankar IAS. Okay. This is full-fledged. Neeraj Nachiket sir. Okay. Yeah. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್, ನೀರಜ್ ನಚಿಕೇತ್ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ. These are the two trusted material in India for UPSC, environment and ecology, okay. What are the number of questions from the last 10 years? What may be the number of questions in prelims? How many questions are there in prelims normally? 100. Out of 100 from environment, what is the percentage of the questions, or what is the number of questions from environment as a subject? Tell me in an average. This is very small subject. It is a part of geography, okay. Then what may be the percentage, or how many questions they may ask? 3 to 5, okay. Any other answers? Any other answer? You know, in 2019 they asked 20 questions in this minute syllabus. They asked 20 questions, means 20%. You know the passing marks of OBC 85, or SC/ST means it is around 82, 79, 80. 20 questions means 40 marks. Half of your prelims done by this. That's why it is very important subject from the examination point of view. It is very, very, very important subject. Half of your prelims is there in 2019. If you talk about 2019 exam, half of your passing mark around. In 2018, 11 questions means 22 marks. In 2017, 13 questions. In 2016, 16 questions. In 2015, 13 questions. Okay. In 2013, 18 questions. In 2012, 17 questions. In 2011, 15 questions. In 2010, 14 questions. That means average more than 15 only. So very tiny syllabus, but from the perspective of the exam, very important. Okay, so be attentive in the class, and this is my subject as well. I mean, I studied degree in this subject only. Okay, so rest of the subjects are fake for me. I mean, I am faking that subjects. That is not my real subjects. Polity, economy. Okay, this is my real subject. And within environment, what is the important area? What are the areas are there in the environment? Anybody? One, ecology. Another one is biodiversity. Another one is pollution. Then ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಏರಿಯಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? What is this national park, wildlife sanctuaries, what are they? protected areas, conservative areas. Their wildlife are conservated by the government, right? So you can say protected areas. Then resource conservation and some of the acts and laws related to wildlife conservation, and some of the treaties and some of the international body, international organization. These are the different areas within the environment. Okay, and climate change. If you look at these areas, which area is highest marks? Out of 20 questions in 2019, 33% of the questions is directly from the biodiversity. 33% out of 20 questions. Okay. And treaty, body, convention, international treaties related to environment, this is 33%. Okay. And act, specifically some of the acts are there, 12%. And resource conservation, 8%. And protected areas, wildlife sanctuaries, national park, these are the things, wetlands, 11%. Pollution, 14%. Okay, climate change, 12%, and ecology, 26% out of these 20 questions. So very important, very short syllabus. So I hope you all will score 100 out of 100 in this subject, because this is my own subject. Okay, and I'll give you the India's most trusted notes also for this. A tiny notes, enough. Maybe around 100 to 150 pages. Okay, that's it. Around 100 page. Entire environment. 100 to 150 page. Fine. Let us start. Yeah. What is the heading? First heading. ಏನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಿ? What is the first heading? ಏನಿರ್ಬೋದು? ಹೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್? ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ environment and ecology. Okay, any other introduction? Let us start our class with understanding what is environment. First of all, take this as a heading. What is environment? It's a French word. Okay, French word environnement. Environment means surrounding. It's a French word. It came from a French word, environnement. Environment means surrounding. It's a French word. Surrounding means what? It may be biotic or abiotic component. What is biotic component? Living. Something living. Microorganisms is also living. Plants are also living. As well as fauna, flora. Everything is living. Animals. Okay. What is fauna? Animals. Flora? Plants. In your initial note only, right? Fauna and flora. Fauna, animals. And flora, plants. Now you know the environment. Then what is this? Let us discuss this word. Take this as side heading, ecology. It came from a Greek word, oikology. Greek word. Came from a Greek word, something logy means what? In any study. Then oiko means Oiko means in Greek house. House. We can connect here as a habitat. What is habitat? A living place. Habitat means a living place. House or a habitat. We are studying the house and habitat of living organisms. Ecology. The standard definition of ecology, it is a scientific study of interaction and it is a scientific study of ಯಾವುದು ತಂದಿಲ್ವ ಯಾವುದು ಬುಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಿಲ್ವ ಓಕೆ ಹಾಂ ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಡ್ರೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ ನೋಡಿ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂರಬೇಡಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ between living organisms and their surroundings. Between living organisms and their surroundings. It is a scientific study of interaction and interdependence. Underline. Interaction and interdependence. What is interaction and interdependence? What is the difference? So, interaction is just communicating. Interdependence means depending on each other. Okay. So scientific study of interaction and interdependence between the living organisms and their surroundings. So it is an interaction between the living organisms also, and with the living organisms to abiotic means its environment. The entire study of these stuffs are called ecology. So ecology is not like environment. Ecology is a study, environment is something different. Okay, ecology is study. The name for the study is ecology, you can say. So environment means not only biotic components, it is the abiotic components, its surroundings. See, ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತ ತಿರುಗಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸತಿ 360 ಡಿಗ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಯುವರ್ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ವ, study not just a physical study, how is the interaction and how is the interdependence, complete study there, that itself is ecology. Okay, this is the thing. Take heading holism in ecology. Holism, HOLISM. Holism in ecology. Let us discuss what is from the beginning, individual to entire biome. What is there in our environment? What is individual? Consider an individual person or an individual bird or an individual insect or an individual butterfly or individual animal. This is individual. Then when individual they combine together, when they group together, we called it as a population. Many individuals they club together to form population. Here a group of mass, or you can say a number of people. A group of individual belongs to same species. Population of persons or population of bird, population of butterfly, population of mammals, you can say cattle. So the definition of population is a group of individual of a same species. That species word is very important. A same species. What is the spelling of species? Species. Okay. A group of individual belonging to same species. What is species now? See, the bird species is different from the human species. Okay, so group of bird is one species, or one, you can say one population. A group of persons, one population. So number of individuals of a same species is called population. A crow population, or you can say cattle population, same species. Next, a different population species inhabiting in a geographical area. We call it as a, what I told, a different population inhabiting in a same area. We call it as a community. There are different kind of community. Forest is also one kind of community. Take heading community here. Not heading like this only, flowchart. Community. Consider forest as one community. Within forest there are forest is the entire thing. Within forest animal community is also there. Microbial community is also there. Plant community is also there. So what is community? Different population of a species inhabiting in a similar geographical area. Right, different population of a species inhabiting in a geographical area. What is the geographical area here is, consider forest as a geographical area. Within forest there is a community of the plant also, plant community, animal community, microbial community, right? If there is a tribal means tribal community also. Okay, so different population of a species inhabiting in a geographical area. If we consider like forest as a geography, consider this as a forest geographical area. Okay, here plant community, here animal community, here microbial community, here tribal community, you can say, right? See, these are the different communities. If this, the different population inhabiting in a similar geographical area, we call it as a community. Okay, like that. After community, what comes into picture? Ecosystem. What is this? Ecosystem. What is this? Forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem. Forest means what? Same. Forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, a biotic community along with its environment is called ecosystem. See, plant community, animal community, microbial community, these are the biotic. Biotic means having some life, having life. These are all biotic community. They are interacting with the non-biotic things, air, water, environment, you can say a climate. These biotic communities interacting with the abiotic community, where in the forest is one kind of ecosystem. Ecosystem means a biotic community interacting with the non-biotic or abiotic, or you can say biotic community interaction with its environment. Instead of abiotic, you can say biotic community interaction with its environment. We call it as a ecosystem. Okay. What are the abiotic component in the forest ecosystem? Soil, water, air, these are all things. Biotic communities, plants, animals, microbes. Okay, this is interaction, ecosystem. And after ecosystem, what comes into picture? Biome. Biome means biggest, a large ecosystem with distinct flora and fauna based on climate. What are the biomes? Oceanic biome, entire ocean is considered as one biome, or desert, you can say entire continent. A large ecosystem with distinct flora and fauna based on climate. A large ecosystem with distinct fauna and flora based on climate. If we consider an entire ocean as one biome, ocean biome, there are aquatic plants, one kind of plants, right, and aquatic animals, a distinct flora and fauna. Aquatic plants is the distinct flora which is addicted to water or adapted its life to water, and aquatic animals are the kind of flora, fauna, that is also adapted to that biome. Okay, so these distinct biotic things, they adapted to its climate. What is the climate? Ocean is one kind of climate for that. So biome means it is a large ecosystem with a distinct fauna and flora based on climate. Okay, this is the largest biome. Or you can say entire thing is a biosphere. That you know, right? Hydrosphere, biosphere, atmosphere. Right? Hydrosphere, entire water. Lithosphere, entire land, lith. And atmosphere, entire climate, atmosphere. When we combine everything, we will get biosphere, like this. Okay, take notes. Environment is a heading. From individual to population to community to ecosystem and biome. What is there in this? 5th standard. Environment. The term environment means surroundings in which organisms live. The term environment means surroundings in which organisms live. See, idra mele question bandiduna students tappu ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಇದು. They will exchange this, community after ecosystem ಹೀಗಲ್ಲ, chronology ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, they will exchange. And community after population, I mean before population community, they will put community as a before population, like this. Easy, nothing is there. In which organisms live, full stop. Next bulletin, it is the sum total of all biotic. It is the sum total of all biotic. Sum total of all biotic. Biotic means having life. Biotic means living plants, animals, decomposers, etc. What is decomposers? Bacteria which decompose the things are called decomposer, etc. That is also biotic. Okay, something which is having life means that is biotic. And abiotic, continue statement. And abiotic, underline abiotic. Abiotic means non-living. What are the abiotic? Temperature, pressure, radiation, soil, like climate. These are all abiotic factors that surround and potentially influence the organisms. That surround and potentially these abiotic things will potentially influence the organism, means biotic things. Okay. See, if there is no interaction, then it is not an ecosystem at all. There should be interaction between the biotic and abiotic, right? Something biotic and abiotic is there means there is an interaction. That is quite normal. There is an interaction. Okay. Next, ecology. Ecology is defined as a scientific study of relationship between living organisms. It is defined as a scientific study of. It is defined as the scientific study of living organisms scientific study of living organisms with each other and with their environment. Okay. In that individual, next subheading individual. Individual means individual organisms is a distinct unit of life. Individual is a distinct, or individual organism is a distinct unit of life in nature. Distinct unit of life in nature. Full stop. It is the basic unit, underline, it is the basic unit of ecological hierarchy, right? An ecological hierarchy, this is the basic unit. Hierarchy. What is the spelling of hierarchy? H-I-E-R-A-R-C-H. Okay. Hierarchy, C-H-Y. Next, population. Population means it is a group of individual of plants or animals. It is a group of individuals of plants or animal species. Species spelling is there. Okay. Don't do mistake in that. Inhabiting in a given area at a particular time. Underline that particular time. Inhabiting a given area at a particular time. Inhabiting a given area at a particular time. This is very important. At a particular time. Inhabiting a given area at a particular time. Next, community. It is an assemblage of population of plants, animals, assemblage, A-S-S-E-M-B-L-A-G-E, assemblage of population of plants, animals, bacteria and fungi. Population of plants, animals, bacteria, B-A-C-T-E-R-I-A, bacteria and fungi, F-U-N-G-I, not G-Y, okay, G-I, that live in an area that show interaction and interdependence. Underline, that show interaction and interdependence. Okay. Enough for that. Any doubts here till now? This is the basic thing, okay? Take home question. Which of the following is a natural ecosystem? Which of the following is a natural ecosystem? E-C-O-S-Y-S-T-E-M, ecosystem. First one is farmland. Farmland. Next, grassland. Second one. Third one, reservoir. Grassland, reservoir. Third one. Farmland, grassland and reservoir. The question is natural ecosystem. Which one is natural ecosystem? First option, one only. Second option, two only. Third option, 1 and 3 only. Fourth option, 1, 2, 3. Tell me the answer. First A, 1 only, B, 2 only, C, 1 and 3, D, 1, 2, 3. B, 2 only. Any other answer? Any other answer? No? No means the question itself is wrong. नो का मतलब क्या है? Let me understand. What is no? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Any other? Option 2. 2 only. Any other answer? See, the question is natural ecosystem. What is natural ecosystem? The ecosystem which is formed because of its naturality, or naturally it is there. A farmland is a cultivating land. It is not a natural, it is a artificial, right? And reservoir is also artificial, not a natural. But grassland is a natural thing. Mention any grassland. Savanna. Okay. Savanna grassland. Steppes, pampas and Australian grasslands, right? These are the grasslands are natural grasslands, right? Even in the Gir forest of Gujarat region, a small amount of grassland is there. Gir forest, Gir National Park, lion, and lion is the major animal in the grassland kind of ecosystem. And tiger is an animal of which ecosystem? A thick forest ecosystem. This is the difference. If you look at a body shape of tiger and lion body is like a long feathers and everything, right? Long hairs. So it is very difficult in the thick forest to move. A male lion, look at this, right? And tiger, there is nothing like that. And a sharp nail, it would be helpful for its movement in a thick forest. Okay, tiger is a thick forest species, and lion is a grassland where there is no forest at all, only grass, okay, or bushes, shrubs, okay. So answer option 2 only. Grassland is the natural ecosystem. Refreshing. Take ecosystem as a heading. In the types of ecosystem, natural and artificial. Tell me some of the natural ecosystems. Forest. In that also, let us divide like this: terrestrial and aquatic. Okay, terrestrial. Something terrestrial means on land. Aquatic means water. Forest is a natural terrestrial ecosystem. Then desert, natural or artificial? Natural. Then is this forest or aquatic? There is no water at all. Then grassland? Yes. Enough. Then we difference okay. Aquatic, tell me. What are the fresh? Aquatic. Pond. This is a odd UPSC question, I will tell you. Pond, most of the times it is man-made also. Sometimes it is artificial, but most of the time pond is man-made also. Let us not write here. You can say a freshwater bodies. What are the freshwater bodies? What is freshwater actually? The water something not saline or freshwater. Something not saline means ocean water is a saline, sea water saline, or brackish water saline, or you can say backwater, lagoon water saline. Something which is not a salty water. That's a fresh water. Okay, it is suitable for drinking. And ocean water is aquatic, that too natural oceans, right? Lagoons, etc. Enough. Tell me some of the artificial terrestrial ecosystem. Artificial terrestrial ecosystem. Heli nod. Artificial terrestrial ecosystem. Zoo is it an ecosystem? That is a place where we, what we call we preserve some of the animals. That is not an entire ecosystem. They will not create ecosystem. Instead of this zoo, you can say lion safari. They will create somewhat ecosystem there, or you can say park, gardens. Park, garden is an ecosystem. Garden is an ecosystem, right? So it is a man-made ecosystem. Parks, gardens. Then even the plantations, areca plantation, it is an ecosystem, man-made, or acacia plantation, Nilgiri. Even our farmland, cultivating land, that is also kind of ecosystem. A paddy cultivation, paddy field, cultivated land, everything. Now tell me, artificial, this is terrestrial, aquatic. Now tell me, pond, aquarium, or you can say well, we dig well, right? That is an aquatic one, and it is artificial, bavi, open well, bore wells. Next, perennial well. Dams also man-made. Reservoirs, dams, reservoirs. And this one, aquaculture, like rearing fishes, everything artificial. Even sometimes irrigation canals, artificial. Okay, like this, some basic differentiation. So always remember, the word habitat means living place. Okay, something ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. A living place of particular organism. Living place, habitat. Living place of an organism, habitat. Okay, habitat means living place of an organism. Okay, or now let us move towards one important concept in the environment. I want you to pronounce this, okay? Tell me. Niche. Okay. N-I-C-H-E. How it become niche? Niche. नीचे, नीचे, आगे, सामने. It's a niche. Yes, exactly. Niche. Pronunciation is like niche. Okay. Very important concept. Let us go from the bottom. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ. This is helpful to understand. What is this? Tree. I'm good at writing tree, okay. 3 ವರ್ಷ 6 record person. Diagram ಅಲ್ಲಿ expert. Consider this as a forest. Sorry, tree. Okay. And here fruit and everything, flower also, fruit, and there is a fruit. Oh, gir gaya, settled here, and there is a cattle to eat this fruit. Consider this as a cattle, and it is eating this. Okay, and there is again many fruits. So fruit rotten here because of that flies and everything. Okay, it came here to eat. This is the one thing. And What is this? What is this? Beecomb, maybe. Honey ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ. Then here is a branch and there is a nest within the branch and small birds with their egg. Small bird, consider. Okay. And again there is a honey here, honey bee, not honey bee here, or some of the rest of the flies here to extract nectar from this flower. Nectar from this flower. Okay. And there is a hole here. Under this hole there are some worms. Okay, there are some worms. And what else? And here a peacock. Okay. How to read peacock here? Consider this is a peacock. There are two peacocks. One is here. No, another one is here. Then what else we needed? Enough for as of now. ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ? ಏನಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಬರಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. What I am trying to write here, there is a tree first of all, and I am connecting the tree with rest of the organisms which it is having interaction. What are the different kinds of interaction you are witnessing here? Here there is a flower and a bee and rest of the insects is extracting nectar from that flower, the one thing. And here on the branch of the tree there is a nest, and bird created nest and it laid its eggs and everything, and chicks are everything is there, or you can say birds are there. Here honeycomb or honey is there, and here worm is there because of its wood stem. Okay, core wood, it is a habitat for this. And again there is a fruit, and fruit fallen, and for that cattle came. It's a fodder for that cattle again, and some of the fruits it perished out, and because of that again flies came for that. Okay, again consider there is a person who came and he stand here, and this is a kind of shadow. This acts as a shadow for that person, right? This is a person who is standing under the tree, so this tree acts as a shadow for them, shadow for that person. So what I am trying to tell you, is this only habitat? And then what is this? Two peacock. I wrote two peacocks. Actually ಒಂದಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ಮೇಲ್. This is female. Okay, small one. What is this? What is happening here? Both are couples, they came here to mate. Okay, and this tree is providing a mating place for them. So it is not a living place for the peacock, it is a mating place. So you can't say habitat. What is habitat? Read that. What is habitat? The spelling, the definition of the habitat. No. Habitat means living place of an organism. Living. This is not a living place. So the habitat option wrong. Then what is this? What I am trying to tell you. ಏನು ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ? What is happening here? The cow is eating something, and man is standing and he is getting a shadow out of this tree. And here it's a mating place. Here it's a place to hold. The comb is holding by this branch, and here is a nest. Nest is holding because of this branch. And here the fly is getting nectar through this flower. So there is some function is going on, right? The word function is very important. Something function is going on, right? And the function is different. Here it's mating, here it is something consuming, Here it is something shadow. Here is something, habitat. For this it is habitat only, worm. It is a living place. For this nectar, so function is different. But in a general note, there is some functioning going on for every other organism. Function is happening, right? So something, the functional place of an organism is called niche. Functional place of an organism is called niche. So functional place of organism is called niche. Right? Ecological niche refers to functional place occupied by an organism. Underline the functional place. Functional place occupied by an organism. It is a microhabitat of an organism. Underline microhabitat. Microhabitat of the organisms. Why we can consider this as a microhabitat? See, this person is standing here to extract some of the benefits from the tree. This cattle is standing here. So at this time, while extracting the function, this is a habitat for this. Habitat is a living place. ಇದು ಹತ್ರ ಬರದೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ದಟ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್ refers to microhabitat of an organisms. It also refers to ability of living organism. Underline the ability of the living organism to use resources in a given habitat. To use resources in a given habitat. So it's a ability of this cattle to use resources in a given habitat. Ability of this peacock, ability of this flies, like this. Okay. See, is this a difficulty one? Is this you felt any difficulty here? Then also majority of the peoples, they go wrong in the niche questions. Majority. I guess you guys will go wrong here. I'll give you one question. The question is like this. This is one of the old UPSC question. What are all the niche of tiger? What are all the niche of tiger? First one, forest. Second one, tree. Third one, water body. Fourth one, a hill. I can say bande, rock hill. Okay, big rock. Yes, type the options. 4. Okay. First option A. These are the different question. Till now it is a question. Option A. What is the first option? In Hedindanu? Forest. Second? Tree. Pond. Water body. Okay, water body. Rock. You can say rock hill or rock. The first option. One and two. The second option, one only. The third option, 1, 2, 3. The fourth option, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want the answer. This is one of the ODPC question. Not exactly the options, but the question is same. There is no rocket science in that, I guess. What you are calculating? Tell me the answer, yaar. Why you are wasting my time? Huh? What? One only. What is the first option? 1 and 2 are right. According to forest and tree is the niche of the tiger. Why? Like, what made you to come to that kind of conclusion? ಹೇಗೆ ಅದು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಬಂದ್ರಿ? ಕಾಡಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ರೋಲ್ ಮರದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಎನಿ ಅದರ್? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 ಓನ್ಲಿ. 2 3 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಾ? 1 2 3 4 ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಬಾಡಿ. Any other option? Any other option? One, I mean only forest. Option 2. Then makes some sense. This option makes some sense because tiger is equal to forest. Next. No other idea? Okay. See, she is right actually. What is niche? It is a functional role. Idan maribaru. The word function is very important here. Not a habitat, something else. It is a functional role. In forest, entire forest is a tiger. The forest is tiger. So it is having lot many functional role within forest. Tree, consider here. Like for this person, a shadow is a function. Like this. So when it comes under the tree, it is a functional role. It gets shadow or it gets habitat to sleep, right? So water body, it go for drink water, right? And rock hill, it is, during summer it will go up and have a nice sleep. Alva ಮೇಲೋಗಿ ಆರಾಮ್ ಮಲಗತ್ತೆ. That means what? It had some of its function with all of this. So for niche questions, all of the above is the answer. Whatever may be the question. Sometime precipitation, temperature, pressure, these are the options. Yes, temperature, pressure, precipitation nothing but male, rainfall, everything having some connection with the living organisms. Living organisms going to experience all of this. When it going to experience all of this means what? It had some of the interaction itself is a function. So if the niche question means all of the above is the answer. Most of the time ನಮಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ 1 and 2 ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ 1 2 3 ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Okay, ಅಥವಾ 1 2 3 4 all of the above is the answer for the niche questions. ಏನೇ ಕೊಡಲಿ, because it is having function with everything here. Any organisms, consider any organisms, it is a interdependent alva. Within ecosystem everything is interacted and interdependent, directly or indirectly it is having connection with everything, even biotic as well as abiotic. So whatever may be the option is right one. Because how we will prove that it will not interact? It is very difficult to prove it will not interact. Benefit of doubt. You know what is benefit of doubt? It is a law word, LLB word. Benefit of doubt. What is benefit of doubt? Any idea? Anybody? Benefit of doubt? ನಿನ್ನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆದರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೌಟ್. ಇನ್ನು judiciary there is a principle called natural principle of justice. Justice should not be against to the nature. This is something, and it tells that if somebody who is convicted, or you can say the criminal, if he went away from the conviction, that is not a big issue. If a innocent went into the conviction, is that is a big issue. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ನಿರಪರಾಧಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗದಿದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಪರಾಧಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗದಿದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿರಪರಾಧಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೇಕ್ in any kind of judgment where there is a gray area about the eyewitness, or where there is a gray area about the circumstantial evidences, you can say evidences, to come to a particular conclusion. This kind of the gray area always benefits not the victim side, always benefits the accused side. Who is victim? Victim means like rape agide, that girl is a victim, and yaro obbrige iವರು rape ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು, that person is accused. So benefit of doubt means the gray area, means there is no evidence for him, like ಇವನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ. This is the gray area. This benefit of doubt always favors accused. So if there is, because of there is no circumstantial evidence, because of there is no proper evidence, we are considering this person is a genuine, not feel guilty, or you can say this case is acquitted. This is the judgment, the benefit of doubt. So benefit of doubt always favors not victim but accused. Okay, ಯಾವಾಗಲಾದರೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಯಾರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಓಕೆ ಇವರೇ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರೂಫ್, ದಟ್ ಡೌಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಅಕ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಅಕ್ಯೂಸಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿತ್ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದ್ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮಿಡ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಬಂತು. ಫೈನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಫ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ, ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅಬೋನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಅರೆ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ವ ಒಂಥರ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್? ಎಷ್ಟು ಹರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನೇನು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಅದು ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿತು, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿತು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ನಿಶ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟೈಗರ್, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗಲೇ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡದು ತುಂಬ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಇರೋದು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಅನಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಹೋಗಲಿ ಬಿಡು. ಓದಿದ್ರು ಏನೂ ಅನಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಓದಿದ್ದೆ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನಪಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ತಪ್ಪಾದರೆ ಓದಿದ್ರು ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಟೇಕ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಕೋಟೋನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. Another important topic. See, I discussed grassland, right? Grassland is what kind of ecosystem? There is no big tree, and shrubs, herbs, bushes, but there is no big tree. And next to that grassland, there may be a water, or you can say one side a thick forest, another side a cultivated land. Cultivated land to thick forest. In between there is no big trees but small trees and bushes, and some of the areas it is a grasses. So it is a inter-zonal area, right? In between the two different ecosystems. Here this is ecosystem 1, ecosystem 2. What is this ecosystem? Forest ecosystem. This a farmland ecosystem. In between there is no big trees. That doesn't mean there is no trees. There are some trees. I mean these trees are very short and shrub, and grasses are more, and the fauna present here is also adapted to that kind of environment. So ecotone is a ecosystem, something which is in between the two different kind of ecosystem. It is a transitional zone. That is the best word, transitional zone between the two different ecosystem. Ecotone is a transitional zone between the, or transitional area between the two different ecosystem. Okay, consider a mangrove. What is mangrove? Mangrove forest, the trees which is grown in a seashore, the trees or shrubs which is grown in a seashore, that is mangrove. Consider this is a sea or ocean, and this is a continent. This is the continent ecosystem, this is the ocean water ecosystem. Here there are some trees, right? This itself is a mangrove. So this mangrove is what? Here is ecosystem one kind of ecosystem, here is another kind of ecosystem. This is a transitional area. Here the ecosystem is something different from its adjacent ecosystem. It is a transitional area between the continent ecosystem as well as ocean water ecosystem, and in between this ecosystem there is a transitional area, and this transition area ecosystem is something different from the adjacent areas. Okay, so this new formed in between two different ecosystem is called ecotone. ಇದೊಂದೆರಡು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬರೀ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಗೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟಲ್ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, this is the oceanic ecosystem, in between mangrove ecosystem. Okay, it is an adjacent area between the two different ecosystems. Here also it is a farmland ecosystem, it is a forest ecosystem. So this grassland is in between these two ecosystem. Normally ಇದನ್ನ farmland ಮತ್ತೆ forest in India normally will not call it as a grassland, we call it as a, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ಇದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಏನು ಗದ್ದೆ ಅಂಚಿಂದ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರೋ ಜಾಗ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಈಚೆ, ಕುಷ್ಕಿ, ಹಕ್ಲು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಡ್ಡೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಆಚೆಗೆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಅದರಿಂದ ಈಚೆಗೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ನೋ ದಿಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೂ ವರ್ಷ ವರ್ಷ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ 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 ಮಾಡಿ 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 ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಡೆಗೆ ಒಂದಿನ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ನವ್ರು ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬೇಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದಿ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಒಂದು ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೀಜನ್, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್. Lot many court cases are dealing with these areas in India. Indian concept of ecotone. Okay, this is the area of the court cases, that too land related, civil case. Okay, ಏನೋ ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಈಚೆ, ಕುಮ್ಕಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮದರ್ ಟಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಅಡ್ಜಸೆಂಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಿಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ರೈಟ್? ಏನೋ ಹಾಂ. Okay, that is Indian concept, transitional zone, ecotone. What is ecotone actually? It is refers to transition area between two types of ecosystem, and ecosystem has a condition of both merging ecosystem. Ecosystem has a condition of both merging ecosystems. Right? If you look at the mangroves, there was some salt water here, and there are some continental trees also here. The trees which is there in the continent, the same trees here, and like ocean, there is ocean water here. Sundarban, West Bengal. Unique type of fauna and flora in this adjoining place or in this transitional zone. Unique type of fauna and flora, unique type, which is different from the its adjoining area. Okay, take it is structure of the ecosystem. Again, let's divide the ecosystem through its structure. These are the two important concepts in the ecosystem: niche and ecotone. Okay, and edge effect anta barutte innondu. While discussing edge effect, I will again come to ecotone. Okay, what is the heading? Structure of ecosystem structure. Consider here abiotic, let's say biotic, Here plant, or you can say flora, fauna, microbia. Flora, fauna, microbia or microbiota, whatever. Fauna, flora, microbiota. Here in the abiotic, this is important now. What are the different things in the abiotic? Physical, chemical and geological. This is what needed now. Now tell me, what are the physical abiotic factors of the ecosystem? Physical, light, humidity, temperature, right? Light, humidity, temperature, or you can say precipitation. Not precipitation, light, humidity, temperature, like this. Physical. Chemical means the chemicals present in the environment. What are the chemicals? Maybe in a larger note, inorganic and organic chemicals, the salts, okay, the minerals which is present in the ecosystem, inorganic and organic chemicals, salts, minerals, okay. Then geological factor, something geological means geography, soil, mountains, water bodies. These are the different abiotic components. Okay. Take heading biogeochemical cycle. You know biogeochemical cycle? Have you heard about this biogeochemical cycle? No? Biogeochemical cycle. What are the different kinds of the biogeochemical cycle? What is this biogeo? Bio means something living, geo means something geographical, or you can say abiotic. Chemical cycle, okay, the cycle of chemicals, or you can say the cycle which went through both biotic and living organisms are called biogeochemical cycles. Okay, what are the two kinds of biogeochemical cycle? Gaseous and sedentary. Gaseous and sedentary. And sedentary. Gaseous means something related to gas. The reserves are atmosphere. Gaseous cycle. Tell me the example for the gaseous cycle. Oxygen cycle, carbon dioxide cycle. And what is the reserve for this? Ellirutte carbon dioxide. Atmosphere. That bitre ocean ellirutte. In a what we call diluted form. Oxygen, water and atmosphere. So here in gaseous cycle reserves are atmosphere and ocean. There is no sedentary here. Sedentary means what? Reserves are earth crust. What is earth crust? In geography we discussed it, right? What is earth crust? See, this is what, consider this is a core, this is a mantle of the earth, and this is the crust. So the chemical cycle which starts from the earth crust and ends with the earth crust, soil in the start is soil will end, we call it as a sedentary cycle. What are the kind of cycle which starts from the earth and ends with the earth? Majorly there is only two cycle which starts from the earth and ends with the earth. Sulfur and phosphorus cycle. Sulfur, Cl, sulfur and phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus cycle. See, gaseous cycle means something related to gas, means something related to atmosphere as well as water body or ocean water, and sedentary cycle means something related to earth crust. The reserves means the material which is present in that cycle. If you consider the sulfur cycle, reserve is material is sulfur, so where it is present? If it present in the crust, we call it as sedentary cycle. So if you look at the sulfur and phosphorus, it is present in the soil, earth crust, okay, and it went to so many different organisms, it went to even biotic and abiotic components, but again it come back to sedentary, means earth crust. It starts from earth crust and again come back to earth crust. Let us discuss one by one what is that in our next classes. But in the beginning, okay, this is the basic. Something, the cycle starts from the earth, or you can say earth crust, sedentary, and ends with earth crust, is called the sedentary, and it passes through different biotic and abiotic components, but starts and ends with the earth crust, is called sedentary. Gaseous means it is not starts and ends with the earth crust, somewhere else, atmosphere and ocean water. Okay, this is the two outermost classification of biogeochemical cycle. Okay, understood? Gaseous and sedentary. ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಕ್ವಶನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Which are all gaseous cycle? Which are all gaseous cycle in the biogeochemical cycle? Which are all gaseous cycle in the biogeochemical cycle? First one, carbon cycle. Second one, oxygen cycle. Third one, sulfur cycle. Fourth one, hydrogen cycle. Which is not actually sulfur. Actually, sulfur is also kind of gas in some form. Some form of the sulfur is gas. So, if there is no this differentiation in your information, you are not able to consider sulfur as something away from the gaseous. Okay, so 1, 2, 4 is the option, right? Right option. Like this. Okay. Only in a general note, only sulfur and phosphorus is the sedentary cycle. Rest of the cycles are the gaseous one. In a general note. Okay. These are the two things. Take homeostasis. HOMEOSTAISS. Homeostasis. What is this? Exactly. Tell me. Maintenance, or you can say regulation by the ecosystem. It itself. Ecosystem is a self-regulatory unit. Okay. Ecosystem is a self-regulatory unit. It regulates it itself, or you can say it maintains the ecosystem it itself. It need not want somebody else to come to regulate it. It maintains itself, or it regulates itself. How it will going to regulate? See, what I am trying to tell you is not just maintaining means. What is maintaining something? Maintaining the status quo. Consider there is a, here it's a forest. Forest is, we are talking about the forest ecosystem, and there are, in this forest, consider 1,000 mosquitoes are there. Okay, and something big come to the mosquitoes, kind of corona, COVID, and 500 mosquitoes gone. So it is a imbalance, because this forest ecosystem need 1,000 mosquitoes. That is the standard one. So what it will do? The ecosystem itself create a favorable environment for cultivating the again another 500 mosquitoes, or it itself creates a favorable environment. How? Like the existing mosquitoes, maybe its fertilization capacity may increases because of the favorable environment, or maybe standing water may increases because of that mosquito larva, everything. Larvae of the mosquito means it's a egg, egg of the mosquito. ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ 100 ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಮಾಡೋ ತನಕ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ, 1000 ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಮಾಡೋ ತನಕ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಏನಾಯಿತು, 1000 ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್, ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿ 2000 ಆಗಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ದಿಸ್? It has to control, right? Because what is the status quo? 1000. So it is more than the standard one. So how it would control? Like it will produce its own mosquito larva eating community. ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಟ್ ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಲಾರ್ವಾ. ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಎಗ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಲೈಕ್ ಲಾರ್ವಾ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಒಂಥರ ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಎಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮಾಸ್ ಥರ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಲಾರ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನು ತಿನ್ನತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್. ಆ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ನೇ. ಆ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್? ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಕೋ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಟೈಗರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೀರ್, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್, or you can say different microbiota. For everything it will maintain one status quo, that is homeostasis. Write it in your own words. This is the story, write in your own words. This mosquito is just an example. This homeostasis is nothing to do with this mosquito. Okay, this is the ecosystem regulation. It is, the word come from like this. Home means, and stasis means stable. Home means like our own home, stable home. There is no disturbances at all. Our home is so stable. Always it wants to maintain its home, means its own ecosystem, a stable ecosystem. It won't want any disturbances. Disturbances like increasing numbers of a particular fauna or increasing number of a particular flora or decreasing, like that. So it is a kind of feedback mechanism, right? Use this word in your answer also, feedback mechanism. So ecosystem only giving its feedback, its own feedback, and it correcting it. See, before coming into action, it should be know, right? It should come to know. So these are all happening, means who is giving feedback? Ecosystem only, it is giving feedback and it is acting according to its feedback. It itself giving feedback to its own and it is acting according to its feedback. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಓಕೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೋ, ಅದೇ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದೇ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ಟಾಸಿಸ್. Again within homeostasis there is positive homeostasis and negative homeostasis. Using the same example I will tell you. Again 100,000 mosquitoes are the status quo, that is the standard one. And because of some COVID-2 mosquito, what happened? 500 mosquito gone. So there is a need of another 500 mosquito, not COVID for the mosquito, something else only. Okay. So what is the need? 500 mosquito is the need of the earth. Because of the favorable environment, more than 500 mosquito got generated, means again 1000 mosquito generated, means total 1500. Because of the favorable environment, again 1000 mosquitoes generated, previously already 1500 mosquito. So this is more than the existing, right? Previously existing community. This is the more than the population of the previously existing population. So this is positive homeostasis. Okay, consider before it is 1000 and 500 gone, and it creates favorable environment. Then also it not able to maintain its status quo. Only 300 new mosquitoes got generated, means 500 plus 300, 800. That is less than the previous 1000 mosquito. So that is negative homeostasis. I guess you understood. Write in your own words. Berserker, not needed, I guess. In a given area, because of good climate, insect multiply very fast, their number increases, but after a certain time there will be competition for food, everything, so number decreases, and someone die due to starvation. This is the best one. Have this as an example. Enough. There is no headache in this. See, this is not only for the fauna, even flora also. You know this? Consider a forest ecosystem. There are 4 trees, big trees in the forest. And because of the forest fire, not 4, because of the forest fire, consider 3 trees burned out because of the forest fire. So to maintain status quo, what is the need? 3. Okay, to maintain a homeostasis, another 3 trees needed, and ecosystem creates favorable environment for its tree generation or tree growth. And because of this favorable environment, consider again 5 more trees got generated, or it's grown up, 5 more trees. So it is a homeostasis, positive homeostasis. After creating favorable environment also, again only 2 trees generated, are it able to grow. Before it is 3, now it is 2 only. 1 plus 2, 3 only. So it is less than the before. So it is negative homeostasis. Not only for the fauna, but also for the flora. Even for the microbiota, insects, microbes. Okay. Ecosystem is self-regulatory. That should be in your mind. It doesn't need humans to regulate it. It is self-regulatory. Or take heading as a ecosystem services. What is service first of all? Don't use your economy knowledge in the environment. This is not tertiary sector service. What is service? ಸೇವೆಗಳು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಸೇವೆ? Ecosystem services. Take heading. There are some direct and indirect services. Direct services. Indirect services. This indirect services is very important because we are not able to connect this. In examination, they are going to ask this indirect services. Direct services, everybody know. What are the direct services of the ecosystem? ಏನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ecosystem? Oxygen, food, right? Ecosystem, water, everything. Even medicine, herbal, all medicine came from ecosystem only. Timber, everything, our construction. Ecosystem provide everything. Consider forest as an ecosystem and think, what are the products of the forest? Oxygen. Consider, in ecosystem service, forest is also kind of ecosystem, right? think from the forest perspective. What are the forest? The direct services, oxygen, food, water. This is the direct. What is the indirect? Indirect services to the society. Services means something to us. Okay, we are our benefit. What are the indirect services of the ecosystem? Consider forest only. See, it acts as a moderator for the climate, right? See, if there is no forest, if there is no ecosystem, there is no climate at all. So it is having some regulatory authority for the climate, regulating services. How? Acts as a moderator for climate. If there is no ecosystem, means extreme climates. Look at pole, 90 degree north, 90 degree south. There is no proper ecosystem. There is no trees. There is no forest because of that very cold. Or two poles, right? So ecosystem acts as a moderator or regulator. This is one of the indirect service to us. And second one, preventing or controlling services. What are the preventing or controlling services? Anyone? Preventing service. It preventing from what? Soil erosion. Right? It holds the soils instead of erosion. While water movement or while water is flowing on the ground means it erodes the soils, loosen soils. When there is a forest means it holds the forest soil. So there is no water erosion, soil erosion. So it prevents the soil erosion. And what it prevents? It prevents the flood also sometimes. Ecosystem prevents the flood and it prevents the drought also in another region. It prevents the drought also. So it is a flood control, drought control, or you can say any other disaster control. Even hill slides or landslides. If there is a proper ecosystem, if there is a forest, there is no landslides. When there is a loosening of the soil starts, after cutting of the trees in the existing hill, the soil is going to loose. When there is a loose, it will fall down during rainy season, right? So these are all the regulating, different preventing services or controlling services. Controlling services. Then supporting services. Tell me, what are the kind of supporting services? Supporting services. It support what? For rain. Okay. It supports the rain. Next. See, it supports the entire living beings, right? It provides habitat. Habitat means what? Living place. Where we live. In the ecosystem itself, right? It protects the entire fauna, flora, microbiota by providing habitat. It is a supporting service, providing habitat. And we discussed biogeochemical cycle. In that we discussed gaseous and sedentary cycle. Sedentary cycle starts from soil and ends with the soil. And gaseous cycle, atmosphere, ocean. What is this? Ecosystem only. So biogeochemical cycle. This is also supporting service. Ecosystem supports for the biogeochemical cycle. Without ecosystem there is no chemical cycle, right? And fourth one, this is very important one. Cultural services. This is especially for the humans. What are the cultural services of the ecosystem? Cultural services. Supports to our culture. How ecosystem supports to our culture? You know this, how culture arises? India is a melting pot of different cultures. And if you look at each state, the culture is different. Within state there is hundreds of cultures. Within a state, you can consider within a district also there is numerous cultures in India. So how these culture arisen and what made them to follow that kind of culture? seasons, or you can say ecosystem made them to follow that kind of culture. Just imagine, like what is that festival we celebrate by lighting fire, and we set a fire outside, like we put a campfire. In Punjab and Haryana, they'll put a campfire because this is on a winter season. They'll put a campfire for which festival? Sankranti. Yes, for Sankranti they'll set a fire outside their home. That is their culture, because that is in a mid of the winter, right? So this culture is arising because of their environment, their ecosystem. In a winter, ecosystem is too cold. To avoid that ecosystem or shivering, what they started setting fire. That itself became our culture. In another side, like if you go to some of the coastal area, there is different culture which is related to ocean, or which is related to all our post mortal karmas, what we call, will float through our river only, will float out, or we can say some of the river bank populations, they have their connection with the river. So everything, the culture, like the tribal culture related to particular forest or particular tree within the forest, their cultures that revolves around some of the sacred trees. And this Nagarabana concept, sacred grove, that is related to that sacred forest. So every our culture is depending on our ecosystem. So ecosystem also having cultural services to us. Artikashaya, this Artikashaya? ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಬಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ತುಂಬ ಮರದ್ದು ಬಾರ್ಕ್, ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಬಾರ್ಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್ ದ ಬಾರ್ಕ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಒಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದನ್ನು ತಳಿರು ತೋರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮಾವಿನ ಎಲೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಫ್ರೂಟ್, ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? Actually, while discussing protection or protected areas, I will again come to that sacred groves. Okay, that is the best way of protecting our forest in India. We will not bother about what is the law of the country. We will not bother about who is the government or who is there in the government, and even we will not bother about what is the kind of punishment they are giving. We just destroy the forest. But we only having some fear or beware of the God. So by telling the God name, you can prevent the forest cutting, or you can prevent the destroying of the forest. That is the best, well successful plan in India. Sacred forest. Consider just declaring one forest, this is a forest of the Chodamma. Finish. No single tree will be cut off from that forest. It is a forest of Nagarabana. Finish. Not only forest. There is no single seed that would be taken off from any other persons. Like that much safe. Z plus security. Nagas. Okay. That much safe. Sacred groves. That is the India's best. It is not only there in India. India's best way of conserving the forest. Okay. Government also implementing in a same manner. Government jagagalana Nagabana ಅಂತ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So that ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, at least for the sake of the God, people should not touch, and people will not going to harm the forest. Otherwise what they will do? They will extend their territory. Otherwise they will cut off the trees from that forest. If we declare that as a Nagarabana, nobody will come. Okay, this is the idea. Sacred forest. Best way of forest conservation. Okay, cultural service. Over. These are the things. Break, Beka? You guys need break? No? Okay. You want? You can take break, but we are continuing. Or otherwise. Okay, take 5 minutes break, everybody. No worries. 5 minutes break. If anybody has to go to washroom, you can. Any doubts till now? Everything understood? ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು? What is niche? Function. Enough. What is ecotone? Transitional zone. Enough. How is going on environment? It is nice syllabus actually. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಮುಂದೆ ನೆನಪಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್, ಫುಡ್ ವೆಬ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅವಾಗ ನೆನಪಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸರ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೆನಪಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ. ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆನಪಾಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದಂತೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಟೀಚರ್ ಮುಖ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೆನಪಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ಟೀಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ತುಂಬ ಈಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಬಟ್ ತುಂಬ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈವನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್, ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್, ಡೆರಿವೇಟಿವ್ಸ್, ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸರ್ಸ್. ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್, ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್, ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸರ್. ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಸತಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪಿರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, majority of aspirants, they'll do wrong in that, because there is a thin layer of difference in that. I tell you, in between the decomposers and detritivores, there is a difference. Decomposer comes in different area only than the detritivores. Detritivores comes in a consumer, decomposer comes in a next level only. The first level is the producer, right? Next level consumer, right? The third level is decomposer. So detritivores comes in consumer. Okay, ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ಡೆಟ್ರೈಟಿವರ್ಸನ್ನು ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸರಿಗೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬರ್ರಿ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರಿ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್? ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಎಕೋಟೋನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಎಕೋಟೋನ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾ? ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಷನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕೋಟೋನ್, ಅದು ಇದು ಬೇಕಾ? ಹಾಂ, ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ನೀಡೆಡ್? not not needed, right? In exam it is needed. So before come to a conclusion, just think for a second. Not needed. Take ecotone, because I'll do edge effect also along with that only. Okay, ecotone. It's a zone of junction. It's a zone of junction or transition between two or more diverse ecosystems. It's a zone of junction or transition between two or more diverse ecosystems. It has a condition intermediate to adjacent ecosystem. It has a condition intermediate to adjacent ecosystem. It may contains organisms which are entirely different from the adjoining communities. Which may contain organisms which are entirely different from adjoining communities. Which are entirely different from the adjoining communities. What does it mean? The organisms of this, like consider continent and ocean. Here it's a mangrove. This is the ocean. It's a continent ecosystem. This is the adjoining ecotone, right? The organisms of this ecosystem, sometimes organisms not only a fauna, flora also. Sometimes entirely different from this and this. Like this plant species present here may be something different from the plant species present here. The aquatic animals sometimes present here may be something different from the aquatic animal present here. Okay, entirely. Sometimes what happens, the number of newly arised plants or organisms, you can say plants and flora, fauna and flora, or newly arised organisms in this ecotone area, you can say increases its size or increases its number more than its adjacent ecosystems, fauna and flora. This is a kind of effect. This is called what effect? Edge effect. Because this is the edge area. This is the edge area, means there is area between the two adjacent ecosystem or two different ecosystem, ecotone, and the present, fauna and flora, or you can say organism present in this ecosystem is different from this ecosystem, and sometimes it surpasses the number in terms of number. It surpasses the number of organisms present in this ecosystem and this ecosystem. Sometimes the organisms present in this ecotone area surpasses in its number than the adjoining ecosystem. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು 100 ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ 150 ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು 100 ಅಕ್ವಾಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಫೌಂಡೆಡ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅಕ್ವಾಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್, like it increases its size in terms of number more than 150. Then it will become edge effect. Edge effect means a newly founded organisms in an ecotone area when it surpasses its numbers than its adjoining area. It's called edge effect. Sometimes a number of species and population density, you can say, in this ecotone area may surpasses the adjoining ecosystem population density or species. It is called edge effect. Okay, what is edge effect? What is edge effect? Sometime the species and population density, sometime a species and population density of a ecotone area, sometimes species and population density of the ecotone area surpasses the adjoining ecosystem species and population density. Adjoining ecosystem means this ecosystem and this ecosystem. This effect is called edge effect. Okay, ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ exam. See, what are the characteristics of this edge effect? Maybe the organisms which created here sometimes may be different from this ecosystem also and this ecosystem also. This is something else only. Sometime, okay, and majority of the time it is having the qualities or the characteristics of the both the ecosystem. It is an intermediate, or you can say mixture of these two ecosystems, right? So it is having the characteristics of the both the continental, if it is considered as a mango, as a ecotone. The organism present in these mangroves having both the characteristics of this continental ecosystem as well as this oceanic ecosystem. And most of the time what happens? Something else only, not like it is not a mixture of these two characteristics, something else only going to form here. Okay, I guess you understood. Yes, between forest. No, not actually. It should be, what is the definition of ecotone should be like different ecosystem in its adjacents. One side some other ecosystem, another side some other. Otherwise what happens? We can consider island as a one ecotone. No. Or you can consider a patches area in between the forest as a ecotone. That is not ecotone. It should be transitional. That's why the name transitional zone between the two different ecosystems. Transitional zone. Grassland between the two forest, what happens? That is not a ecotone. Ecotone means it should be transitional zone between the two different ecosystems. Transitional zone. Okay. This is the thing. Take a note, NOT. No two species, NO, TWO2, no two species within a given community, no two species within a given community can have exactly the same niche, underline. No two species within a given community can have exactly the same niche, underline the word exactly in the, and living permanent together, That means what? What is the meaning of this? If two individuals are there and that niches or two species are there, and niche of these two species exactly similar, there is no difference in that, so they are not able to live permanently together. Competition, right? So the outcome is two. There may be two outcomes in this. Continue. If two species happen to have the same niche in a community, either of the two may happen. First one, a direct competition between the two, TWO2, will eliminate the one of them, ELI, will eliminate one of them. This is actually definition for the competitive exclusion in environment and ecology. there is a concept called competition exclusion. What is competition exclusion? The same definition, read it. Exclusion because of the competition means something, the species went off or wiped off because of the competition. The competition arises because of the same niche. Okay, so if a two species having exactly similar niche, there may be two outcomes. One outcome is a competition, and competition may leads to elimination of the one particular species out of two. Okay, this is one thing. And another thing, competitive exclusion is a one thing, right? Competition exclusion. Another is they may adapt differently in a way that there is further niche specialization. There is further niche specialization of habitat or food. There is further niche specialization in a habitat or of habitat, specialization of habitat or food. What is this? See, there is two outcomes. One is maybe a competition, because of competition one is one species may exclude out, elimination. That is called competition exclusion. And another possibility is they may adopt different way only within single niche. Specific niche. What is this specific niche? Like there is difference within the niche also. Like they may adapt differently for the same niche. Same ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೀನೇ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ರೀತಿಗೂ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ರೀತಿಗೂ ಆ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಮೇ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಲಿವ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್. Otherwise what happens? Competition. So competition, finally one species will exclude out. That is one of the possibility. Another possibility, they may adopt different only within the same niche. Okay, hope you are getting. These are the two things may happen. So types of niche need not to give, I guess. Habitat niche, example, that worms in the tree, and reproductive niche, peacock mating, and what we call food niche, that cattle. Then physical niche, that human being, shadow, right? Chemical niche, maybe that nectar and everything, right? Like this. Take heading flow of energy as a heading. What is the source of energy for the ecosystem? Any kind of ecosystem? Sun. Exactly. Flow of energy is a heading. So who is going to use sun rays for its photosynthesis? Plants. They are the producer. What is photosynthesis? Using the plant, I know, sunlight, as well as what is the raw or what is the components of the photosynthesis? Sunlight plus water plus oxygen or carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide, right? So they are going to produce water and oxygen, right? So sunlight is one of the main factor in the photosynthesis. So producer going to use this. Producer means all green plants. All green plants one will do photosynthesis. Photosynthetic plants are the producers. You can say photosynthetic plants. This is the first level in the food chain, you can say. And the next level after producer, consumer. What are the kinds of consumer? This is my question. Herbivores, then carnivores, then first one, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, okay. Next, detritivores. Omnivores. See, spelling correct, baby. Herbivores, carnivores, omnivorous, detritivores. Okay. What is herbivore? These are different kinds of consumers. Herbivore means one who directly eat the produces. Plant ತಿನ್ನೋದು herbivores means one who eat the herbs are called herbivores, right? A small plants. Example: cow, deer, rabbit. Carnivores. No. That is a top carnivores. Start from the beginning. One who eat these herbivores, you can say. One who eat these herbivores are called the carnivores. Okay. Who is this fellow? We eat both humans. Carnivore, we eat both herbs as well as meat, right? One who eat both veg and non-veg. What is this detritive? This is my concern area. What is this detritivores? What is this detritivores? There, first of all, you always in mind, they are the part of consumer. Consumer means what? Consumer means what? Consumer means they feed or they consume something, right? This is the difference. They feed or they consume. So detritivores consume. It's a part of consumers. It comes under the consumers. Detritivores comes under the consumers. Means they consume or they feed on the dead matters. Example: earthworms, crab. They feed on the dead, dead leaf, fallen leaf, right? This is best example. You can say vultures. Vultures feed on the dead buffalo in the forest. These are the things. And after that, what happens? After consumer, what is the next? Right? Who is this new family? Okay. Example: bacteria, fungi. Virus is part of decomposer or not? Bacteria and fungi, it is a part of decomposer but not virus. Why? It is dead. Virus is COVID is dead. It will modify itself, right? Actually, it is half dead, you can say. Why? Because to say something is a living, we need some of the qualities in that. What are the kind of qualities? Maybe a cytoplasm. What is cytoplasm? What is cytoplasm? Biology. Outside what? Nucleus. Okay. If we look at the virus, even single cell organisms also having one DNA itself or one RNA. Okay, this is half only, and there is no concept of DNA in virus. DNA ne illa, RNA no full illa. This is the problem. Okay, so virus is a very minute out of all single cell organisms. See here it is not even single cell also, this is half cell virus. Or you can say if you cut the one single cell into numerous parts, that one part is a virus. If you cut one single cell into numerous parts, that one part is a virus. So it is very minute. Because of that COVID become very serious issue. Otherwise we are able to control in a beginning only, like this one, vaccines and all. Here very minute. If we create vaccine for one day means after 1 week, after 1 month, that will not going to work, because a quick changes, modifications. Okay. So decomposers means bacteria and fungi. Here my question is, do they consume or do they eat or not? Like consume maduttadu. This is the difference between detritivores and the decomposers. Here you need, there is a thin layer of difference. See, what is the procedure of consuming here in the consumption decomposer? See here, earthworms, crabs, vultures, they directly go and eat. That is not the case with the decomposers. They secrete enzymes. After secreting enzymes, that the particular product going to decompose. After that, what happens? It will absorb. Okay, secret enzymes. It will first secretes enzymes. After secreting enzymes, divide. The food is going to divide. After that, the divided food is going to absorb. Observe. This word is very important. Observe. Extract ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Extraction. Break down and absorb. This is the word. You can say, instead of divide, break down and absorb. See, this is the code word, okay, in your prelims. If the word break down and absorb came means, that is not detritivores, that is decomposer only. If the word consume came or eat came, that is detritivores. In a single statement, in a question, if the word consume or something, it engulfed. What is engulfed? Taking into the engulfed. Or you can say it consumed or it eat, that is detritivores. It break down and it absorbed. By secreting some of the enzyme, it break down the products and it absorbed the nutrients out of that. Then that is decomposer. This is the difference, thin layer of difference. Okay. What is this mushroom? Mushroom is what? It's a part of fungi, Mushroom is a fungi. So it will absorb the nutrients. It will secrete some enzyme and make sure that it will break down, the habitat where it grow. First, what it will do? It will secrete some of the enzymes. Because of that, it will make sure that the base or the habitat would break down or loses it. After that, it start to consume. How? Not consume. It start to absorb through its different. That is not a root actually. Adral bere iruttalla, adu root alla. Idu consumption igiro ಒಂದು part adಷ್ಟೇ. Not consumption, absorption igiro parts ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So it will break down and absorb. Mushroom is also decomposer. Okay, comes under fungi. This is 2022 question, UPSC prelims. Not directly, but if you are able to know, like, do you have an idea if mushroom comes under the fungi means, you are able to write that answer. That was the kind of question. Like, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು fungi, mushroom comes under fungi ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, you are in a position to able to doing right in that question. Okay, ಅದೊಂದು ಬಂದಿತ್ತು 2022 ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್. Okay, is important. And this is the thin layer of difference between the detritivores and decomposer. This is the thing. And virus is not a decomposer. That doesn't mean it is detritivores. Virus is something different only. Okay. Or take food chain as a heading. What is food chain? That is also flow of energy, right? From one trophic level to another trophic level. Food chain. What are the kinds of food chain? Again, primary school. Same like producer, consumers and detritus, everybody know, decomposers. Then also why I did the same? Because these thin layers and connecting it to UPSC, this is the need. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಏನು ಗೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಆಸ್ಪಿರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Everybody know what is food chain. Then also there is a problem in that. First tell me what is food chain and what are the kinds of food chain. ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? No? Grazing, detritus. No? Take. There are two kinds of food chain. One is grazing and another one is detritus. First one is grazing and another one is detritus. Best example is grazing. The definition of the grazing food chain is nothing but like the food chain starts from the producers and end with the primary consumer. Primary consumer means not like a top consumer, lion and all. It is like a what we call a snake, or you can say. Primary consumer, grazing food chain, a grasshopper. So after that, frog, snake, finish. Detritus food chain means the food chain starts from the dead living organisms. Sorry, not dead organisms. The food chain starts from the dead organisms. Tell me the food chain which starts from the dead organisms. Like dead leaves, then dead leaves will be eaten by some of the worms, okay, worms, and these worms will be eaten by some insects, you can say, or directly. Instead birds ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೇಳೋಣ, ಸಮ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳೋಣ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬರ್ಡನ್ನು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಬರ್ಡನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ತಿನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕಷ್ಟ ನನಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹುಲಿ ಸಿಂಹದ ಕೈಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಹಾರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸನ್ನ ಯಾವ್ದು ತಿನ್ನತ್ತೆ? ಫ್ರಾಗ್ನ, ಸ್ನೇಕ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬೇಡ, ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಏನಾದರೂ. ಲಿಸರ್ಡ್, ಲಿಸರ್ಡ್ನ, ಸ್ನೇಕ್ನ ಅಗೇನ್ ಈಗಲ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಟ್, ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಡೆಟ್ರಿಟಸ್ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್? ಓಕೆ, ಡೆಡ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಲಿಟರ್. ಲೀಫ್ ಲಿಟರ್ನ ಯಾವ ತಿನ್ನತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಈಗ ಬರೆಯೋಣ. ಡೆಡ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಆರ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಲಿಟರ್. ಲೀಫ್ ಲಿಟರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮರ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗಿದೆ, ಸತ್ತೋಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ಫಂಗೈ, ರೈಟ್? ಮರ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ, ಅದು ಫಂಗೈ. ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫಂಗೈ, ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಗೈ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಈಟ್. मिल गया. Rabbit, again deer, again tiger, top consumer. So if the definition of the detritus food chain is sorry rabbit sorry directly it's like snacks for the tiger, small rabbit evening snack. or you can say even mushroom na deer direct ಆಗಿ ತಿನ್ನತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೇಗಾದ್ರೆ ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್ ತಿನ್ನತ್ತೆ deer. Okay, see the definition of the detritus food chain is like the food chain starts from the decomposer, or you can say not decompose, start from the dead organism and ends with the top consumer. This is called detritus food chain. The food chain which starts from the dead organisms, or you can say dead leaf litter or dead stem or dead plant product, whatever, and ends with the top consumer. See, have a look at this. Dead leaves to tiger, top consumer. If you look at this, it starts from the producer, not dead one, and ends with the primary consumer. This is the two different things within a food chain. And what is food web then? This is the food chain, right? Food web. Something web means what? It's a kind of network, interconnected. Consider a human, omnivorous. We eat grass also, we eat mushroom also, fungi, detritivores, and we eat, if we are a Chinese, we eat frog also, snake also, even grasshopper also, right? And there is no classification for us, everything interconnected. And rabbit also, tribe, if you are a tribe, deer also, like tiger also, maybe, we don't know, not maybe tiger, but deer and rabbit, it is there. Okay, that means it is interconnected, something is interconnected, and there we are not following the standard flow chain, or we are not following the a step after step, a trophic level after trophic level. It is interconnected in between the trophic level. We call it as a food web. There is no linear. This is a single directional, unidirectional. Food chain is a unidirectional. Food web is a multi-directional. There is no direction at all. We eat everything, whatever we went through. Taste matters. Food chain is a unidirectional energy flow. You can say like that. Unidirectional energy flow. Food web is a multi-directional energy flow. It is a linear path, it is a non-linear path. Okay, it is an interconnected energy flow, food web. Okay, interconnected energy flow. This is the difference. So this grazing food chain and detritus food chain is a linear, unidirectional, right? So it comes under the food chain, not food web, right? Like this. See, this food chain, this food chain concept, this is only a theoretical concept. There is no practicality in the environment. If you look at the environment in a practical note, there is no food chain at all. There is food web only. Who told you? Like only fungi is eaten by rabbit. Deer is also there. Some of the rest of the carnivores, herbivores is also there. Like wild buffalo, like wild deer, or you can say wild dog, or you can say any wild animals that can eat grass or that can eat vegetarian, that also eat fungi. So in a practical note, there is no food chain at all. It is food web only. For our convenience, from perspective of the understanding, we are following the food chain. In a practical note, there is no food chain in the ecosystem, only food web. Because who told you, like grass, only grasshopper, deer also directly, right? And rabbit also. So there is no food chain in the ecosystem, only food web. This is for our convenience, theoretical. Okay. Take heading ecological pyramids. Nenapagta idea? What are the kinds of pyramids? Here the takeaway points is detritus food chain starts from the dead organism. This is the one thing, and ends with the top consumers. And grazing food chain start from the producers, not consumers. Start from the producer. This is the takeaway point. And food chain is a myth. That is another takeaway. Take ecological pyramid as I did. What is that? What is pyramid? Something stepping stone. Steps one after the other or one above the other. Right? Pyramid. ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ pyramid? ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಓದಿದ್ದು ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Recall everybody? ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ನೋಡ್ದಾಗಿಲ್ವ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ? ಫೈನ್. Take heading ecological pyramid. That is also kind of energy flow only, right? Write down, it is a mathematical tool to analyze energy flow in an ecosystem in terms of stored energy, biomass, numbers. In terms of stored energy, biomass and numbers. Full stop. The energy content is represented by different trophic levels. See, these are the different trophic levels. Trophic level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Different trophic levels represented in different trophic levels. Okay. This is the one. And who started this? Who gave this ecological pyramid concept? There is a British zoologist called Charles Elton. British zoologist. Called Charles Elton. He gave that concept. British zoologist Charles Elton. What is spelling of zoology? There is no A, okay, Z-O-O, but pronunciation zoa. Any CBZ students here? Chemistry, botany, zoology? Chemistry, botany, zoology in degree? No, right? Chemistry, botany, zoology, BZC students. What are the three kinds of pyramids in there? Pyramids are there? Three kinds of pyramids. What are three kinds of pyramids are there in our ecosystem? Pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of numbers. Right? These are the three kinds of pyramids. Pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number. In this pyramid of energy is only upright pyramid. There is no downward. Only upright. What does it mean? There is no inverted pyramid for the pyramid of energy, only upright. This is upright pyramid. Upright means the something which is there at the bottom is big, something which is there at the top means that is small. This is upright. So pyramid of energy is always upright. There is no inverted. That means what? While flowing energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, energy started to decreases, or there is a wastage of energy. Energy neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be transferred from one form to another form. Science. Okay. So while traveling from one trophic level to another trophic level, energy not going to destroy. That is the wrong definition, because energy neither be created nor be destroyed. That transferred to one form to another form, right? So in the form of heat energy, in the form of metabolic energy, it transferred and it went into waste, not destroyed, went into waste. As a something, energy will not transfer to next level. While transferring, it went into waste. Means ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿಗಿಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಮ್ಮಿನೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. This is called upright. This is called invert. Invert ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಪಿರಮಿಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೈಟ್. This is the basic definition. ಇದು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. If you look at the pyramid of biomass and numbers, both invert and upright. If you look at pyramid of biomass and pyramid of numbers, both upright and invert. But if you look at pyramid of energy, only upright. There is no invert. This is my basic concept. Understood? Now take pyramid of energy as a heading. Pyramid of energy. So I told you, pyramid of energy is not inverted, it is only upright. Producers, what are producers? Photosynthetic green plants. They produce energy. This is energy flow, where pyramid of energy. They produce energy using sunlight or by doing the procedure called photosynthesis, and that energy transferred to next trophic level. This is first trophic level 1, pyramid of energy we are discussing. Trophic level 1 means producers, and that energy produced in the producers transferred to next trophic level. What is the next trophic level after producers? Herbivores. Within consumer, herbivores, right? Herbivores, and this energy from the herbivores transferred to herbivores in ಯಾರು ತಿಂತಾರೆ? Initial carnivores, or you can say light carnivores, and carnivores to top carnivores. Energy here to here, here to here. Okay. There is a concept called Lindemann law of 10% of energy flow. Lindemann is a scientist person. His law of 10% of energy flow. Consider here 1000 calorie of energy generated. What is the energy generated at the producers? 1000 calorie. Only 100 calorie got transferred to next trophic level. That means what? 900 calorie got not destroyed, because it's the energy. Energy will not not created, neither be created nor be destroyed. Not destroyed, but it transferred to some other form. What is the form of energy? See, directly not generate agilla, but in a form convert agide. What is the forms? Metabolic activity of these producers. What is the metabolic activity? What is metabolic? Metabolic activity is nothing but digestion, respiration, reproduction, the cell development, cell division. This is the metabolic activity of any particular individual or any particular organisms. So because of this metabolic activity, it needs some energy. So 90% of the energy went for the heat. Heat is also metabolic. Heat is also kind of energy. Okay. 90% of the energy from one trophic level, while transferring to another trophic level, went as a heat energy as well as metabolic energy. Heat plus metabolic. Went out as a heat and metabolic energy. Only 10% of its energy transferred to next trophic level. That is the Lindemann law of Lindemann energy flow, or Lindemann law of 10% energy flow. According to Lindemann, he told that while any energy transferring one trophic level to next trophic level, only 10% of energy transferred to next trophic level. Here to here 10 calorie, here to here 1 calorie. Producers, grass, herbivores, grasshopper, carnivore, maybe directly frog, and top carnivore, snake maybe. This is the things. So 1000 calorie, 100 calorie, 10 calorie, 1 calorie. So energy while moving top carnivore, top trophic level, the energy amount going to reduces. If you look at the all top carnivores of the entire ecosystem, entire tiger anta bandre avralli iro energy kammi compared to entire producers of that ecosystem. Consider a forest ecosystem. There is a producers, there is a herbivores, there is a initial carnivores, there is a top carnivores. If you consider entire top carnivores are tigers and lions, the energy which is present within the tiger's body, the energy present within the lion body is something very minute when it compared to energy within the producers. I don't understand. Because producers are the all plants, all trees, all shrubs, all herbs. ಒಂದು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಲೈನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಟೈಗರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಮರ ಗಿಡಗಳ ಅದೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಡ್ರೋನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಕಾಡೇ ಕಾಣೋದು. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? In any kind of ecosystem, energy at the producers are more. So loss of energy happens while transferring to rest of the trophic level. So that is what mentioned in the Lindemann law of 10% of energy. The energy while transferring from one trophic level to next trophic level, only 10% of energy got transferred. 90% of energy waste for the heat and metabolic activity of that particular trophic level. Here in the herbivores also, 100 calorie of energy is there. But 90 calories went for heat and metabolic activity of the herbivores. Okay, again 10 calorie. And carnivores, within carnivore also, 10 calorie of energy was there. But 9 calorie of energy went for the heat and metabolic activity. This is the thing. And there is no invert. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಆ ಥರ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. But if you look at the number and biomass, that is there. Let us discuss that. Take heading as a pyramid of biomass. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಪಿರಮಿಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಮಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಂಬರಿಗೆ ಎರಡು ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ನೆನಪೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲಾ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್? ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿ? Lindemann. That is there in your first PU science. I know. First PU science, the Lindemann, that person name is there. Syllabus change ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ? Then ನಂಗೆ ನೆನಪಿದೆ. Law of 10% of energy flow, ಅದಂತೂ ಇದೆ definitely. Not there? It is there. It is there, I know. Okay. ಏನು ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್? ಬಯೋಮಾಸ್. What is biomass actually? What is biomass? Tell me, what is biomass? What is biomass? See, ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್, ಹರ್ಬಿವೋರ್ಸ್, ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ವಾ. ಇದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ ಬೇರೆದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಸಾ ದ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಫ್ಲೋ, ಹೌ ದ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ಪಿರಮಿಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಮಾಸ್ we look after the mass of that particular product or mass of that particular trophic level. What is the mass? Mass is nothing but a dry body weight. Dry, not a wet. If the mass of the producers means the dry weight of the all the green plants, dry weight, not the wet weight. Mass of the herbivores means the dry weight of the all the herbivores. Dry, okay, that dry is very important because it's one of the old equation. The dry weight, mass means a dry weight. Total dry weight of all producers are the first, biomass. In generally, what is this pyramid? What is the name of this pyramid? What is the name of this pyramid? Inward. What is the name of this? Upright. This is inward. In generally, continent, if you look at the continent, means on the terrestrial, the biomass pyramid is upright. Generally, and it is not universal. And if you look at aquatic as an ecosystem, the pyramid of biomass would be inward. This is another takeaway point here. In general, if you look at continent or a terrestrial, the pyramid of biomass, see, not if it is number and energy, the case would be different only. Pyramid of biomass, it is upright. If you look at the aquatic, the pyramid of biomass would be inward. Let us discuss how. First, terrestrial. Again, producers, herbivores, consumer. Let us take 3 1. See, if you look at producers, if you look at herbivore like deer, in its entire lifespan of the deer, it eat lot many herbs, right? More than its body weight. ಎಷ್ಟು herbs ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೆ? If you compare the entire herbs it will eat, it is more than its body weight, right? So entire producers, that is just an example. If you look at the entire producer of any ecosystem, the biomass of that producer is more than its herbivores. Then again, if the biomass of the herbivores is more than its carnivores, ನೀವು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೀರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಬಾಡಿ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಟೈಗರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ಎ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು. ಸೊ in a pyramid of biomass, in terrestrial, it is like this only. The producer's biomass is all, whatever may be the ecosystem, in the terrestrial, the producer's biomass would be more only. Producer's biomass means ಎಲ್ಲ biomass ಎಲ್ಲ producers ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು wait ಮಾಡಿ. What are the producers? All grasses. What is the producers? All grasses, all trees, all shrubs, all big trees, everything. So when you weigh that, it weighs more than the herbivores, and when you weigh the entire herbivores, it weighs more than the consumer. The number is less, so weight is less. This is the idea. This is on the terrestrial. I told you, it is always upright generally. Then in the ecosystem, what happens? Ecosystem, biomass. Normally, a small phytoplankton. What is phytoplankton? A small, minute, living fauna or flora? Flora means plant which do photosynthesis in the aquatic. ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕದ ಮೈನ್ಯೂಟ್ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಾ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, phytoplankton, it is called phytoplankton. Plankton means a small organisms. Phyto means which uses light and it will do photosynthesis. that is eaten by zooplankton, that is flora, zooplankton, and zooplankton eaten by the small fishes, consumed by small fishes consumed by big fish. If you consider the mass of the big fish is more than the mass of the small fish, biomass, dry weight, and if you consider the small fish mass is more than the zooplankton is something which eats the phytoplankton. Small microbial or microbiota which eats the zooplankton are called, which eat the phytoplankton are called zooplankton. The organisms which eats phytoplankton are called zooplankton. So the mass of the zooplankton is more than the mass of the phytoplankton. The mass of the small fish is more than the mass of the zooplankton, and mass of the big fish is obviously more than the small fish. So it is like invert. See, both biomass only, here also biomass, here also biomass, but depending on the different ecosystem, the pyramid is different. Are you getting? Yeah. Now pyramid of number, let us discuss. And I told you, pyramid of number is also both upright and inward. How? Again, any example for pyramid of number? Again, if we consider number, if we count the number of the producers, herbivores, carnivores, produced numbers are obviously more than the herbivores number. Herbivores numbers is obviously more than the carnivores number. Tiger and deer, take any kind of ecosystem where herbivores are more than its consumers or carnivores, right? If that is not the case, that is not a proper ecosystem. That is not a healthy ecosystem. A healthy ecosystem is consumers should be less than the herbivores, right? So this is the one. And I told you, this is not only the case, this is also the case. So what is this case? Pyramid of number inverted. Tell me where it is. Pyramid of number should be inverted. Number should be inverted. Consider one's number here it is not biomass, number. One single tree. One day tree. Okay. And in one single tree, more than one bird, right? More than one bird. And in one single bird body, more than one lice. Right, more than one lice. Or you can say, what ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು and within lice body also there is more than 100 microbes. So if you consider a number as a criteria, it is both upright and inverted. This is the pyramid of numbers. Are you getting my point? This is the best example. Okay, tree, bird, bird flies or lice and microbes within the lice body. Microbes within the lice body. Are you getting? Everybody? See, tree, single tree. And within single tree there is more than one. If it is less than one, that is not a upward, that is not a inverted. More than one bird, right, in one single tree. And one single bird body, more than one lice, right? Hundreds of. And more than one single lice body, hundreds of microbes. Forget microbes only. Illindane nodi. Tree, bird, lice. So it is when we travel from one trophic level to next trophic level, the number going to increase here. Here, the number going to decrease here. So, two different ecosystems and two different pyramid style, upward and downward. This is the thing. Okay, ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? I guess not needed. Common sense is enough. Notes ಬೇಕಾ? Do you need to dictate? No? Dictation ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. I will not lose anything. If you want, I will dictate. Otherwise, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎನಫ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ? ಎನಫ್. ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. Or somebody, you guys felt difficult in writing, I will dictate. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಲೈಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. Ecological pyramid is heading. An ecological pyramid is geographical representation of the relationship, not geographical, sorry, graphical representation. Ecological pyramid is a graphical representation of the relationship. It's a kind of graph, alba. Graphical representation of the relationship between different organisms in an ecosystem. Between different organisms in an ecosystem. First one, types of pyramid. In that pyramid of number. Type of pyramid of number. Okay. A graphical representation of, continuing pyramid of number. A graphical representation of number of individual per unit area of various trophic levels, TROPhic trophic levels, stepwise, with producer forming the base, and top carnivores the tip, at the tip is called pyramid of numbers. It can be upright or inverted. It is difficult to count all organisms. Pyramid of numbers, as it is difficult to count all organisms, pyramid of numbers does not completely represent trophic structure. Okay, and have that diagram there itself. If you written earlier means that is fine. Continue. Pyramid of biomass. The amount of living or organic matter in a particular environment. Amount of living or organic matter in a particular environment. Is called biomass. Amount of living or organic matter present in a particular environment is called biomass. Full stop. A graphical representation of total dry weight, underline. A graphical representation of total dry weight, underline everything. Total dry weight, underline total dry weight of all organisms at each trophic level at a particular time. Of all organisms at each trophic level at a particular time. Full stop. It can be upright or inverted. It can be upright or inverted. UPRIGSD, upright or inverted. INVERTED. Upright in terrestrial ecosystem, invert in aquatic ecosystem generally. Next, pyramid of energy. A graphic representation of the amount of energy trapped per unit time and area, in different trophic levels of a food chain. In different trophic levels of a food chain. A graphic representation of amount of energy trapped per unit time and area in different trophic levels of a food chain. Okay, it is always upright. Underline that. It is always upright, as there will be loss of energy from one trophic to next trophic level. It is always upright, as there will be loss of energy from one trophic level to next trophic level. There will be loss of energy from one trophic level to next trophic level. And have the diagram there itself. If you written earlier, then that's fine. Next, law of 10% of energy transfer as a subheading. Law of 10% of energy transfer as a subheading. Law of 10% energy transfer. The person Raymond Lindemann, full name Raymond, not shirt, okay, Raymond. This law was introduced by Raymond Lindemann. Raymond, that is also the same spelling, right? Raymond, same spelling, maybe his relative. Raymond Lindemann in 1942. According to this law, only 10% of energy entering into trophic level, only 10% of energy entering into trophic level of energy, trophic level of energy, entering into trophic level of energy will be available, trophic level of energy will be available to be transferred to the next trophic level, to be transferred to the next trophic level. Okay, very in terms of changes in vegetation, it is determined by climatic condition of an area. Climatic conditions of an area. Okay, so the succession may be speed in terms of, in some of the climate, in some of the climate it may be fast. So fast nothing means tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Fast means hundreds of years. Slow means thousands of years. Okay. It can be both terrestrial as well as aquatic. It can be both terrestrial as well as aquatic. This is very important. Ecological succession starts with pioneer community, means community that enters, fresh community, I mean this flora, this fauna which enters in the beginning, right? That is the pioneer community. And followed by serial community, means intermediate. Serial. And final big forest is the climax community. Pioneer community, serial community, climax community. So any kind of succession starts with the pioneer community. After that, it enters into the stage of the serial community. It's the intermediate state and becomes stable, means stabilized community. That is the climax community, the last stage, so that it will stabilize its ecosystem and it become a kind of ecosystem, means forest ecosystem. And it is not just converting from the pond to forest. This is just an example. Succession means something different only. Something changes. And there is no hard and core rule like it should travels from aquatic to forest and it should transfer from aquatic to forest. That is not the case. This is just an example. In glaciers also there is lot many successions. Even in the desert also there is lot many successions. Okay, this is just an easy example, a common example which is there in and around us. Because of that I gave this example. Okay, so any succession starts from the in any succession, not only here, starts from the pioneer community, and intermediate community is called the serial community or serial thing, and final is called climax community. Okay, in the climax community, the succession becomes stabilized. The word stabilize is very important while writing climax community. Climax community stabilizes the succession, or you can say stabilize the ecosystem. Climax community going to stabilize the ecosystem. What is the stable ecosystem here? Forest ecosystem is the stable ecosystem here. Okay, it stabilizes the intermediate ecosystem or serial community into a kind of, it gave a name forest there, means it stabilizes. This is the thing. Okay. Sometimes what happens, this primary and secondary, there is a already established forest. There is no rock and bare land concept. Already established forest. But because of the forest fire, what happens? Entire forest vanishes off. And after that again, fauna, flora enter and everything. That is called secondary succession also in some of the cases. Primary means from the beginning bare land to till the forest, that is primary, and after forest fire the second generation, secondary. This is also sometime. Okay, so this example is just an example, or this concept is just an example for the ecological succession. Ecological succession is something bigger than this. This must be in your mind. Got the point? Yeah. Take a note, primary succession is heading. Primary succession spelling here it is there. When succession occurs in a new place, underline that new place. Where there is no previous colonization of species, where there is no previous colonization, colonization of species, where there is no colonization of species, and soil is formed for the first time. it is referred to primary succession. If the soil is found for the first time and the pioneer community enters in that soil, like this is fresh concept, this is not after forest fire or this is not after something else, this is a fresh concept. Okay, take heading is secondary succession. When succession occurs in a previously colonized site, control in the previously colonized site or place, where soil is already present, it is referred to secondary succession. Where soil is already present, it is referred to secondary succession. It occurs due to sometimes natural or anthropogenic causes or anthropogenic disturbances. See, forest fire may be a natural, may be anthropogenic, means man-made. Anthropology, Manava Shastra, anthropogenic, Manava, something man-made. Anthropogenic disturbances, for example, wildfire, deforestation. Wildfire may be because of the natural, but deforestation is anthropogenic. And zoom cultivation, you know this zoom cultivation, slash and burn cultivation. Zoom cultivation, they slash and burn the forest itself, and they use the burnt ash as like a fertilizer. Some of the tribes of the northeastern India, Assam, Nagaland, and all. Zoom cultivation. So that is also kind of, after zoom cultivation again forest grows in that region. Okay, this is the thing, etc. Enough. And this theory, actually this is a theory in the geography, theory of succession anta. It was given by F.E. Clement. This theory was given by F.E. Clement. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ introduction, value addition, F.E. Clement, C-L-E-M-E-N-T, Clement. He was the person, he gave this succession. And he gave like theory from first point to last point, what the process and how it should be the process of the succession. And he gave, first is the initial is the nudation period, N-U-D-A. Wait, I'll tell you. He gave nudation. Nudation means like it is setting up of the ground. A rock is the soil, that is the ground setted. So now after nudation what happens? The outer species started to come, right? Invasion. Invasive species means species from the surrounding, it started to enter into that region. Then after when species enter to some place, different kinds of species enters. So there is a competition for the food, competition for the mate, competition for the rest of the basic needs. So competition started. See, after competition what happens? See, one organism came and another organism came for the same basic needs. So there are some frictions. After competition, frictions, and after friction there is some reaction, right? What may be the reaction? I told you, after competition there is some reaction, and then there are two kinds of reaction. While discussing the niche, I told you, while discussing niche, two kinds of reaction. One is they may adopt differently, or one of the species may disappear. This is the reaction. Adopt, they may displace it to some other place. Displacement or replacement. Replacement means one of them got vanished. And finally, after reaction and disreaction, everything, stabilization means climax community. So this is the theory given by Clement, F.E. Clement. Okay, from nudation to reaction. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದೆ, ನೀವು ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಿಬೇಡಿ. Write like this one. After reaction, nudation. I mean stabilization. See, any succession starts with the nudation, means setting up of the bare land. Setting up of the bare land, nudation. After when the bare land settled, it next turns to the invasion. Invasion means on this ground, on this bare land, the organisms, means fauna, flora from the rest of the territories, they started to getting enter into this region. After when they getting enter into this region, there is a competition starts in between the species and intra-species also. Inter and intra-species. Competition is something negative only. So because of this competition, reaction starts. Reaction may be replacement, maybe displacement, means something away, maybe vanishes. So after this everything, reaction and disreaction, finally the climax community comes into picture, that is the stabilization. This is the entire theory of the succession. Okay, yeah. Understood? Yeah. Any doubts from the morning? Any doubts you can ask. If there is any doubt you can ask, otherwise I will wind up now.